Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Monica from the Howard County Library System, the Glenwood branch. I'm here with Miss Christy and Mr. Alistair. Thank you for helping us behind the scenes. We are here for another episode of STEAM Saturday, which I'm so excited about. STEAM Saturday is our bi-weekly program where we learn about science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics. And we do that through fun activities that you can learn and do at home. So remember, this is pre-recorded. So if you need to pause it at any time and get something or just rewatch something, you can do that. And also, I try to use materials that you will find commonly in your home. If I use anything that you don't have at home, you can improvise. You can use something else and substitute it. Always ask, by the way, you're grown up before you go and grab supplies, okay? So let's get started. So today's episode is on plastic and our oceans. And oceans, I'm going to also include like the Chesapeake Bay and maybe the Potomac River or another river or body of water that you live by. And plastic has become a problem in our oceans and waterways. And we're going to learn a little bit about why they've become a problem and what we can do about them. And we'll end with some book suggestions and a fun activity as well. So I want to start with something that made me really think as a person, plastic bags. So who goes to the store and buys something and gets it in a plastic bag? I know I'm guilty of this. I try really hard to use reusable bags and sometimes I forget them, but last week I made a conscious effort not to use my reusable bags, which was hard for me, but I wanted to show you all what that meant for my household. So, ready? Let's count. This is my bag of plastic bags. This is a big, this can cover my whole face. Like this is a huge bag of plastic bags. So let's count to see how many I had in 1 week, okay? And I have 4 people in my family, so it's pretty general family size. So let's count. Ready? Let's think and estimate how many bags you think I gathered in 1 week with my family. Do you have a number in mind? I would think maybe 15, 20. I don't know. Let's see how many we have. Ready? Help me count, okay? 1, 2, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my gosh, this is so many. 10, 11, 12. I don't even think you can see me anymore. 13. We're going to start throwing these on the floor. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So I was right in my estimate. But I will point out, I'm just going to throw this on the floor. That is way too many bags. Way too many. So I will admit that lately I've been kind of busy. So I've been doing curbside pickup where they bag your things for you. So plastic, unfortunately, with that is the only choice. But they are bigger plastic bags. So I did 21 bags, right? I remember that correctly. But these bags are pretty big. So if I had walked into the store and used the regular size bags like this one, I probably would have had double the amount of those bigger bags because not a lot fits into these little bags. 21 bags is still a lot to me. So how many bags do you think the average household uses in a year? So I looked this up online because I was kind of interested. So it is estimated that a regular sized family, not a huge family, not a small family, but an average size household uses 1,500 shopping bags a year, or they obtain that, okay? That equals to, if you divide it out by how many weeks in a year. That's 52 weeks in a year. So if you divide that number by 52, it's 28 bags per week. So that's pretty equal to what I collected. I collected 21. Like I said, they were bigger bags. I think that there maybe would be more. I did buy, for some reason, a lot of groceries, or pick up a lot of groceries rather, last week. But that is still a lot of bags. And the problem with these bags is that they do not biodegrade. So if I throw this out and it goes into our landfill, how long do you think it will take for the earth to break this down? It's not biodegradable, so it's not going to be quick. It's not going to be like eggshells or like lettuce that's gone bad or strawberry tops or anything like that. How long do you think it would take for that to break down? It is going to take our earth 700 to 1,000 years to break this bag down. That's a lot. So when we talk about bags, we also talk about not only do they not go into the landfill, but they are littering up our oceans and our waterways as well. And why is that a problem? I mean, I think the obvious of when I go to the beach and I want to go and I want to swim in the ocean, I want to swim in clean water. I don't want my leg being brushed up constantly, or I don't want to wade through a bunch of plastic bags. Gross. And then, you know, I like to build a sandcastle when I go to the beach. I don't want to be digging in the sand and every other shovel find one of these. So, but who lives in our oceans and our waterways and our lakes and our rivers? Fish and animal life, right? Marine animals, sea life, right? So I'm going to show you some things that happen to fish and sea life with these bags, okay? So one thing is octopus like jellyfish. They like to eat jellyfish. That's chain of eating, okay? And when an octopus, I have my little stuffed animal here, when they eat these, it makes them sick. It gets caught in their intestines and it's just not good for them. And other wildlife also eat these. So that's one way that they're bad. They're really bad for the environment. And our sea turtles are dying because they're eating our bags. If you think of a jellyfish, where they're kind of clear and this kind of looks like, doesn't it? A jellyfish, okay? And when they eat them, they die and they get sick, and it's not good. Another reason that plastic is not good for our waterways is when you have a plastic bottle, okay? This is a single-use plastic water. I drank water from this and it's just a single-use plastic bottle. Now, I hope that this goes in your recycling bin if you use one of these. I'm not saying it's horrible to use these. We try to reduce at our house on using these, but if we just threw it into like the local river that's by my house, or we just threw it on the side of the road and then it ended up in the river, this is not good. Fish will try to go into these. So all animals are curious like we are, and they see something that's not in their usual environment and they want to go check it out. It's just like when an ice cream truck all of a sudden appears on your street, you want to go out and see what's in that ice cream truck. And fish and marine life are the same thing. They want to go check it out. So sometimes fish will look at these and they'll go into it and they'll get stuck. Same with the octopus. I mean, he feels things out with his tentacles, and he too could all of a sudden get stuck in that. Do you see how that could happen? So not only do they litter up our waters, but they don't make it, it's harmful as well. So I want to show you this book. I'm gonna book suggest this book in a little bit, but I do want to show you this. This is Alba and the Ocean Cleanup. So you can see Alba, and he sees a pearl, which do happen, and you can find pearls in our oceans, and he wants to check it out. And you can see what else is littering his ocean as well: a plastic straw, a plastic Q-tip. And what happens to Alba in this book is that the fish gets stuck. Do you see how there it is. He's curious and he's checking it out and he gets stuck, and that's a problem for fish. that they can't get out. That for some reason they can sometimes go through a smaller opening and then they can't get out. So that's a problem too. So another plastic item that we could use is, I have one right here, a plastic straw, okay? And these in recent years have definitely been shown as a problem. Sea turtles, again, will encounter them and get them stuck in their noses. And I would not want anything stuck in my nose. Don't ever put anything in your nose. It can get stuck and it hurts. So that's a problem, but also creatures are eating them as well. So that's not good. So let's see. So I'm trying to make sure that we covered everything. So that's a really brief overview on why plastic is not good for the environment. Oh, I have another one. So you know the big jugs that laundry detergent or dishwasher detergent come in? So those big jugs, or even like big things of water, will come in plastic jugs. So it's great to recycle them, but they're going to plants that are, recycling them, which is great. I mean, it's a really good effort to not have them in our oceans and things like that. I know we have chairs on our deck that are made from recycled plastic. They're melted down and then they're made into something new, basically. So what's happening in some of the places that are near those recycling plants is they're finding on their sand and their seashores that there are little teeny byproducts from that plastic. Like they get mixed in the water and they go back out into the ocean, and then they're littering the sand and the sea. And so sea animals also think that they look like, little teeny fish or something they eat, and they're eating them and they're finding those little plastic pellets all in their stomachs and things, and that's causing them to die and feel really sick. So that's not so good. So how can we help? I'm not advocating that you get rid of all plastics. Plastics have a purpose here on our earth and we use them, but we can also try to use them a little less or be responsible when we do use them. So I'm going to show you some things that you can do to help out fish and sea life. So be a little more conscious about what you're doing. So I showed you my plastic bottle. It is important to drink a lot of water. I love to drink water, but you can do it a little bit more responsibly. You can buy yourself a reusable cup and you can fill it with water. This one has some ice water in it. And that's how you can get your water, each day. This one even came with a reusable straw, so you can wash these out. This one, actually, I'm going to show you this cup because I just think there's a lot of fun cups out there. And this one, I didn't realize it did this until I bought it, but I'm going to go ahead and pour it. I'm going to take this off because I don't want to spill this, but so watch this cup when I fill this up. Hopefully it'll do it. Did you see that it changes color? Yep, there you go. So it goes from like a clear cup to all of a sudden having colorful sprinkles around it. I want to say I paid a couple dollars for this cup and straw. It was a bargain because, I mean, don't you want to drink water out of your colored sprinkly cup? It's fun. It changes. There's some water for me. This one is actually a great cup too, because it doesn't even require a straw. It has an opening and it will lock into place. So I know if like you're traveling, it doesn't spill. So there you go. It has a spout to drink out of. So that's one way you can decrease the amount of plastic that you're using, is by using reusable cups. And they're kind of fun. So as I was preparing for this program, I was also at the library branch. I was shelving and I spotted this book. And I know that some of you might be a little too old for a board book, but I think this is really cool that this is from DK Publishing, and it is a plastic-free touch and feel book. So this has a lot of textured things for kids to touch. If you still like these kind of books, I'm cool with that because I had to like look at every page and touch them as well. And it's a super cute book and a really fun book, but this is made out of no plastic. So when this book gets like ripped or it's just past its prime, which does happen to books, we can truly recycle this book as paper. Pretty cool. No plastic in that book. So Another way that you can decrease plastics, as I talked about, like the laundry detergents or dishwasher soap, like they all come now in little teeny pouches that come in a like a little bag versus a big huge bottle. So I know we use those when we do our laundry and our dishes at our house, and a pouch is a lot smaller to recycle than a big bottle. I recently switched and I feel a little better about that choice. Here's another one. I don't know if anybody is washing their hands like crazy these days this past year. I'm sure your grown-up is always on you when you come home, wash your hands, wash your hands. I know I am. But we were going through a lot of soap and a lot of soap containers. So a lot of companies, this is just one, you don't have to use the ones that I use. They make these pouches and you can refill your bottles. So this pouch, when it's all done, it has some soap in it right now, but when it's done, it really is smaller than all the different bottles I would have to rebuy and throw in the recycling bin. So this has, it fills 3 bottles. So I can use one bottle over and over and over again by refilling it with some liquid soap. So that's kind of a neat way to, be a little more conscious about what you're doing with plastic. So another thing is we talked about reusable bags. I have a whole bunch of reusable bags for groceries. One thing you can do is help your grown-up to remember those when they walk into the grocery store. You could be in charge of the reusable bags and grab those for them. So this is one that I keep in my purse. If you carry around a backpack or a purse, this could be one that you could carry too. So when you buy something, I just grab this out and I fill this up instead of getting a plastic bag or even a paper bag. Businesses like this too, because they don't have to buy bags. But this one is great because it folds up, and then look at that. It unfolds and it's cute and cheerful and fun. And I don't come home with more plastic bags. So that's great. And these are inexpensive as well. And then you're helping the environment. So another thing about plastic that I forgot to mention before, but I kind of wanted to show you this part of our program, is that these are little drink holders. Do you recognize these? Does anybody have these at home? Sometimes with cans or soda or something. I don't know if you're drinking that, but they do have these. You'll see these laying around near water, I know at the park or maybe on the beach. These are really, really bad for all animals, not just sea life. Like I said, they are curious. I'm gonna take my little hermit crab puppet here. Isn't he cute? And let's say he's just walking along the sand and he's kind of checking things out. And like I said, animals are curious, just like we are. And if he comes across this and he's like, ooh, what's this? Looks like something to play with. And he starts playing with it. And look what can happen. All of a sudden, his legs are caught in here. Now, this is a puppet that I'm playing with. Can imagine if this was the real one, he'd have a hard time getting out of this. And he might get stuck. And then once he's so stuck, he wouldn't be able to move again. So what you can do, I actually saw this when I was a child. I saw a mallard duck by the lake near that where I lived as a child get stuck in one of these. And it really upset me because the poor duck was walking around with this around its neck. And you could tell it was really bothering it and he couldn't get it off. So just always, now I always do this. So once I have one of these, I don't buy cans a lot, but when I do have one of these, and I've taught my children to do this too, I cut it up. So you can see it circles, and all you have to do is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that opens all of the openings and nobody can get stuck. I like to take it one step further. You can see there's the middle circles, and I just go right up the center of this and do this. Okay. Now, I don't know if anybody, I don't think they recycle these. You would have to throw them out, which I'm not happy about. But at least if this comes separated from my trash, in the landfill, there's birds that go in landfills. No animal creature is going to get stuck on this. So now I can throw this away. So maybe one day they'll come up with recycling with those, which would be nice. So those are just some really simple ways that you can help our environment and sea life with plastics. I'm also going to show you a way to reuse plastic. I think that's really wonderful when you can take something and keep reusing it. For example, these bags that we have a lot of, these big bags especially, I keep them, I fold them up nicely, and I put them upstairs by our bedrooms. And when somebody has an article of clothing that they no longer like or doesn't fit, my kids grow out of their clothing really quickly, we just right away fold it up and we put it in here and we give it to somebody that could use it. So it's right away ready in a bag, ready to donate. So that's a great way to reuse these. Hopefully the place that we donate our clothing to then reuses it by giving it to people to fill with clothing that they can take. So another way to recycle these is if you need trash bags, use them as a trash bag. There's different ways. If you have like exhausted your ways to reuse them, then please find a facility that recycles them. Some grocery stores do have bins when you walk in and you can recycle them. So make sure that you're either reusing or recycling. So let's see, let's do our activity. So this is a super simple activity, but it's lots of fun. You're going to need very minimum materials. So I like to use a paper plate. If you need to put a smock on, press pause, run and get an old shirt or smock. That's also a great way to reuse your old clothes. Maybe if a shirt ripped or something, or maybe your grown-up shirt ripped, they make great smocks. So then you're going to need, this is another plastic item that you'll experience in your home. Does anybody order anything and get boxes of things coming in the mail? Yes, especially this last year, there was a lot of packages coming. So some of them are wrapped. This is bubble wrap. It's great to keep something fragile safe in that box. But again, this is plastic that goes into our oceans and our landfills. So what I like to do is, first of all, I reuse this. So if I'm sending a package, I'm going to grab some, I just roll it up and just put it in the closet and reuse it. But today we're going to make an activity and something you can use with this. So come back to this. You're going to need, these are just foam paint brushes. I got them at the craft store. Big box store has them, I believe, too. They're great because they're foam, first of all, and you can wash them and reuse them many times. So those are wonderful. And you're going to need paint. So this is just regular acrylic paint. I'm using 4 colors today, but you can use whatever colors you would like or have. So I'm just going to squirt those out onto my paper plate in different colors. And you don't need a lot of paint. I always say that, just squirt a little bit of paint. That's, again, not wasting. And, you know, use what you need. And if you need more, you can always squirt more out on your plate. I think the orange, I even did too much on this. I'll show you what I mean. Really little, like so. Okay. And, oh, you need scissors. Okay, just a standard pair of scissors. This is probably grown-up scissors. My younger viewers, have your grown-up help you with this stage. But what you're going to do is you're going to take the plastic and you're just going to cut squares. Okay, like so. They do not need to be perfect, just little squares. And if you notice on this, oh, did you hear it pop? That's really fun too with these. Did you hear it? Okay, so you have the bubble side and the flat side. You're going to be using the bubbled side on this. So I'm going to put that down. You can see on my paint, it's just a little bit of paint. I'm going to get this out of the way. And the last thing you're going to need, I'm going to also push our books away a little bit. I don't want to get paint on the library books. The other thing you're going to need is a canvas bag. I ordered this online, craft store, big box store sells them. If you do not have a canvas bag, it's okay. Go get like a piece of cardstock or a piece of paper. You can use that as well and practice this technique. You do not need to use the canvas bag if you don't have it. But if you do, it's kind of a neat thing to make. I'm gonna move this down a little bit so you can see, okay? So I took, again, this bag, canvas bag, came in a plastic bag. So I just reused the plastic bag to put into it so it doesn't, the paint doesn't bleed onto the other side. So what you're gonna do, I'm gonna lay this kind of flat, is you're gonna take your, I'm gonna just hold it in my hand. You probably wanna put this on like another paper plate, or like if you covered your work station with a plastic bag or you know, newspaper or something to protect it. You don't wanna paint on your table. So I'm going to use green so you can see it a little better. So all you're going to do is you're going to paint, like I said, bubble side, and you're just going to paint. I'm not going all the way to the edge because I want to be able to hold this and not get paint all over me. So I'm just going to do like paint a square of it. Let me show you, like so. Okay, and then you're just going to put it randomly on your bag. If you want to do a design, you can. I like it kind of random and fun. And then like this, and press it like so. You don't want to put too much paint on this because it will get kind of gloppy. And then pull it off. Do you see that? Let's do another color. I'm gonna put that aside. And I have these from the other night. Let's do blue. Okay, so you can see didn't use a lot of paint. And again, I'm just going to paint this. This one I did a little bigger of a square of paint. That's okay. You could do different painting surfaces, like different sizes. You can see I'm just kind of holding the side of it and just painting along. And again, I'm gonna like overlap them because I think that's kind of fun, kind of unique. You do this how you would like to do it. It's your project. You can make your shapes as big or small as you would like. Don't go too small just because you'll get paint all over yourself, but do it however you're comfortable with and then just peel it off. And I'm gonna put this aside because you get the drift on how to do this, I think, right? You guys comfortable with this? Awesome. So let me show you how it turns out. So it turns out like that. And just because we're almost out of time, I had so much to tell you as always, and a short amount of time to tell you. But here is a finished one, okay? And you can see I used the orange and the yellow, and let me show you, okay? So what's great about this bag is now you have a canvas bag to reuse and take with you to the store. If you didn't watch the last Steam Saturday, we also used a different painting technique and we made another canvas bag. So if you use that technique and this technique to make 2 bags, think of all the plastic bags you're going to save by reusing your canvas bags. And they're just fun to make, and they also make great gifts. So if you're looking for a gift for somebody this summer, it's a great activity. So let's see. Nice gift. Let's go over our book suggestions because like I said, we are unfortunately running out of time. So if you have not signed up for our summer reading program, I hope that you do today. Ask your grown-up. The theme this year, this summer, is tales, like an animal tale, and tales, like a story we tell. So the more books you read and the more activities you do, the more points you will earn. You want to earn those points and get that prize at the end. And I just think summer reading is always fun. Adults and teenagers, if you have any of those in your home, they can sign up too. I always do summer reading and challenge myself to read all the books that they ask us to and just have a good time reading. So these are some great books that you could check out from your local library and start reading. Yeah, exactly. So I showed you a little bit about this book. This is Alba and the Ocean Cleanup. It's by Laura Hawthorne, and this is a fantastic story that goes over exactly what we just learned about. And Alba is a fish, like I told you, and he lives in the sea. And the illustrations in here are just gorgeous. And you can see that Alba's really, really happy and content with where he lives in the ocean and what happens to the ocean when it gets polluted and with lots of trash and what happens. And you can see also, I just love the illustration. So I could show you lots more pictures of this book, but I'm not, because I want you to place a hold at the library and come to the library and check this out because it's a great book. The next book I have, so we really touched very small about oceans today. If you're interested more about oceans, I highly recommend this book. It's Oceans in 30 Seconds by Jen Green. And this has 30 cool topics for junior marine explorers explained in a half a minute. So these are short little sections about the oceans. This one's about swirling currents, which is kind of interesting. And what's really cool is they also have an extension activity, the 3-minute mission circling currents. So you can try your hand at creating some currents. Here's sunlit surface. So some fish and animals live on the surface and some live below the surface, and that's what that's talking about. And this one is, I love this page because of what we just talked about. I had to show you this one. This is protecting the oceans. And here we go, 3-minute mission, save our seas. So right there. So this is a great little book. I always love a book like this. You can get a book like this out, and each day challenge yourself to read one of these short little topics on and do the little missions. And it's a fun way to spend a month, because 30 days in most months, and you can do this. So last but not least, I discovered this book and I absolutely loved it. We're talking about plastic bags and the life of a plastic bag and what happens when it doesn't get properly reused or recycled, and what its impact on the earth can be. This is a great book. It tells the story and journey of one plastic bag. And it shows the story. I don't know how this author did this. This is Bag in the Wind by Ted Kusher, and it's illustrated by Barry Root. So the author and the illustrator worked to tell a wonderful story that shows empathy, recycling, reusing. It's really a cool book. I'm going to show you just a couple of pictures of this. So you can see there's the bag and it's stuck on a fence. The bag starts at a landfill, and it with the wind flies out of the landfill, and then you see like all the different places it goes. There it is. It's like in a little pond. It's a fascinating book. I really enjoyed reading this book as well. So Bag in the Wind. I think that's it for today. It was so nice to see you all. I hope that you do your job to save and help our ocean life and keeping plastic out of our oceans and waterways. So if you liked this class, we'll have another one in 2 weeks. We'll explore another fun topic. Have your grown-ups sign up at hclibrary.org. So you all have a great day. Thanks for joining us. See you next time.